Hey guys, so I have a couple things today. First of all, this is my IPSY bag for this month. Pretty cute. So I'm gonna do this video about brushes, but I do want to show some cool things that I picked up from Ulta today, or yesterday, Friday, one of those days. Also, my cats will probably interrupt this program, so got this. So it's Morphe concealer. I really like it. I'm actually wearing it right now, and it does like a really good job. Honestly, I might like it better than Shape Tape. Sorry, Tarte, but I still love you, but like I really like this. Okay, then I also got Morphe's Bake and Set powder, which I really like as well. It's similar to that I think L'Oreal powder that I have, like the translucent one, but this one does like a really nice job of like brightening your face, so I really like it. I also picked these up. So these are ColourPop Super Shock Shadows. I don't know if you can like see it in the light that well, but they are like so sparkly. I'm in love, honestly. Highly recommend those. And like I said, ColourPop is like pretty cheap, so always a bonus. Then I got this. I've never used Revolution Cosmetics before, so if you have, you'll have to tell me how it is, but I bought this like foils palette that I really like. I haven't used it yet, might in this video, but we'll see. I also bought these. I've used this brand before. I really like these lashes. They're easy to apply. They last forever. Awesome. Then I got another Urban Decay 24/7 pencil. It's like this like really pretty sparkly green color. Super in love with that. Can't wait to play with it. Then I've had a lot of questions about like eye creams, wrinkle creams, things like that. So in this IPSY bag this month, I picked a couple of add-ons, one of which was this. It's Filorga Laboratories. It is called Optimize, and it's eye contour cream. So it's for your under eyes, like your dark circles, your puffiness, your wrinkles. And I just kind of went out on a limb and tried it. And then before I tried it, I looked on Google. Apparently it was the most Googled beauty product of 2018. It has been called, quote, Botox in a bottle. And honestly, I can attest to that. Like, I don't know if you can like tell a difference or anything, but like I don't have any under eye circles anymore. And one thing that I also have noticed that it doesn't say that it like does, my pores are minimized. Like I've noticed that they like the pores, like especially next to my nose, seem so much smaller. So I highly recommend this. I think my mom already bought it, so, and she's 52, so just saying, if that's something you want to look for, go for it. Okay, and then I got my cute little IPSY bag. They did a collab with Betty Boop, which is so cute. I got this little blush in there by Basic Beauty. It's this really nice like matte, like it almost has like a brown undertone. I'm wearing it right now and I actually like it better than the blush that I have been using. So then I got Tarte Cosmetics. It's like a foil shadow. It's pressed, but it's really sparkly. I don't know if you can see how sparkly that is, but it's awesome. I got a brush, which is perfect actually for this episode, so you'll be seeing that a little bit later. I got a Betty Boop palette, really super cute, has some really cool colors in there. And I got this Nomad Cosmetics highlighter. I'm actually wearing it right now and I really like it. It looks pink, but it doesn't go on pink, so I was pumped about that. And then Betty Boop times IPSY eyeliner. Haven't tried that yet, but I'm a super big fan of the tip of this. It's kind of like very firm and I think it's gonna be good stuff. So it's called Drawn to You. Oh my gosh, I'm drawn to me too. Okay, but anyway, so let's get into this brush thing. I have had so many of you messaging me, commenting, asking like, what brush do I use for what? And I'm gonna give you a little disclaimer. I have no idea. I use stuff, I could be using it completely wrong, but I just like do what works best for me. So I'm gonna kind of do like a little look today to kind of like demonstrate how some of the brushes work. But since it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I'm gonna do some pink. But anyways, so I'm gonna basically like show you some of my favorite brushes that I use when I'm creating a look. So first one being, I have like this flat shader. I'm really not even sure what the brand is, but it's got like, the way the bristles are, it has like this nice flat edge to it. And so what I usually use that for is just to sweep across the lid. It's like my base brush, like if I'm not doing a whole crazy thing and I just want to put like a little bit of eyeshadow on, this is the brush that I use because it just like sweeps nicely across the lid. So that's one of my favorites. Then another one of my favorites that I like to use, it's called simply a shader. So it's shaped like this, as you can see, like if you compare the two, this one's not as flat. And so what I use these for is just anything like on my brow bone, like up here. And you just like kind of, you know, shade. That's what it's for. Another one that I like to use is a short shader. So it's basically this brush, but a lot shorter. It allows you to shade like in like a more precise fashion. So what I'll usually use it for is like your outer corners out there. And so that's really convenient. Another big one that I highly recommend that everybody have, I have a couple of them. These are blenders. And so they're kind of like more for if you're trying to like make two colors coalesce. So you just go like this and you just like blend everything together. This one's pretty big, this one's a little bit smaller, but they're both awesome. I really like both of them. Another one is this little flat shader here. It's very small. It's a lot different from even like this one, any of these shaders here. It's good for like doing under the eye, and it's also good for like any precision stuff on the outside. I totally got like eyeshadow on me because I don't ever clean my brushes. Clean your brushes. I also like a good dome brush. So this one has a couple different uses. You can use it to like highlight your inner corner here. A lot of times I'll do like the corner there. You can use it for the outside. You can use it for in your crease. Like it has a lot of different uses. It's a really handy brush. Another one that I use a lot is an angled brush. And so this is like a lot smaller. Mine's a little heavily used. I have a couple of them, but they're really good for like if you're not super pumped about like using liquid liner. So like if you don't want to really use something like this, you can use like a pencil, and then this is really good for like angling it out and making a wing with it. It's really good for underneath, like anything close to the lash line. So I've always had one of those. I highly recommend it. Another one that I really like is this kind of like tapered shader here. It's a lot shorter than even my short shader. Oh my god, I'm like throwing things. But it's really tapered, and so I like to use it under the eye as well, and like kind of just like blend what's on the top and the bottom together. It's really awesome. And honestly, like that's pretty much what I use on my eyes. So I'll kind of demonstrate when I'm like creating this look. But then I also have my face brushes, because I'm not sure if you guys were like just the eye brushes, just the face brushes, both, whatever. So I'm just doing it for everybody. This is Farrah's 50F brush. Really big, really fluffy. I use it for bronzer because I found like some brushes, like I did used to use one like this for my bronzer, but when you're doing bronzer, you don't want it to be like heavily concentrated. It's just kind of like to tone your face a little bit. So I used this one, and I don't know if you can see my bronzer, but it like kind of, it makes it really easy to blend. It doesn't look like super dark and super concentrated in one place. So that's why I really like using this one. And I got this in my IPSY bag. Not this one a long time ago, but I love it anyways. This one is, you can use it for blush, you could use it for bronzer. Honestly, I use it for like using like the translucent setting powder and just kind of, you know, blending it all over my face. You can also use a sponge for that, like especially with this Morphe Bacon set, you kind of want to use a sponge and like just let it sit there and kind of like soak up the oil or like anything weird on your face and like mattify everything. And then I have this Firma 102 brush. I love this brush. I also got it in an IPSY bag. but I use it for my blush. I don't know if you can tell by how pink the bristles are, but it's like really like precise for your cheeks. So you can just like put your little blush on. It's not going to be like too heavy on there. And then I also have this other Farrah brush, and it is the Contour 218M. This is for contouring, you guessed it. So it's really good for like, I don't know if you guys do like any like heavy contouring. I don't usually do heavy contouring just because my cheekbones are already really prominent. But it's really good to just like kind of follow that line on your cheeks and like really highlight them, if that's something that you want to do. I also have this Ulta brush. I can't remember which one it is. Oh, it says right here, Airbrush number 101. It's for foundation. It's really good for liquid foundations. I actually just recently discovered it because I haven't really been, I kind of neglect my face a little bit whenever I'm using brushes. I had this like big like kabuki brush, and it's like not that great. It kind of leaves like swipes on your face, and I don't like having the look that I like wiped my makeup on. I want it to look like, you know, coherent and not disgusting. And so this is amazing. I love it. A little bit goes a long way. So you can put light makeup on your face, you can cake it on there if you want, whatever, but this is really good for blending. And last but not least, this is something that I actually recently started using. It's a fan brush. They make them in all different sizes. This one just kind of works best for my cheeks. So this one I use for highlighter. So you just like kind of dip in your highlighter, and then you're gonna highlight your cheekbones, your temples, your nose, cupid's bow, chin, forehead, and I mean, it's really easy to use. Super self-explanatory. So yeah, I hope that you learned something, and if not, I'm terribly sorry. I'm like talking really fucking fast today. But I'm gonna do like a little breast cancer thing and kind of like demonstrate. So I have like all these like different palettes with different pinks in them, because honestly I'm totally winging it and I don't know what I'm gonna do. So that's pretty much what I do in general, like in life. I've found that like becoming an adult, you're just like, yeah, I totally know what I'm doing. And you pretend, and then like somehow you just make it. But anyways, here we go. I've used this before. I used it in my Pride look video. Got it in an IPSY bag, Moods by Laura Sanchez. There's like a lot of really cool neons in here. So I'm thinking this pink is gonna probably go in this look really well. And then I also have like these super glittery palettes. Might use those too, so we'll see. But I'm just gonna start out with my shader that I was talking about earlier. And I'm just gonna kind of like use like a really pale, like light brown. And I'm just gonna swoop on my brow bones, just kind of get like a little shadow going. It's really light, and I'm just really doing this just to kind of like create a shadow, because obviously like I'm gonna do pink, so it's not gonna be neutrals on here, but it is kind of just like, I don't know, I just always do this because I like having shadow. My cats are being really obnoxious. But yeah, get a little bit of shadow, and I used my shader, so hopefully this doesn't look crazy. I'm sorry, I'm like totally looking this way because my mirror is over there. I could move it. I literally can't do anything without my cats being super obnoxious about like, hey, like, why aren't you paying attention to me? But that's just what it's like. I imagine being a human mother is way worse, so if you have kids, I'm sorry. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I have this cool Tetris palette, and it has this super like crazy sparkly pink in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that in my outer corner, and so I'm gonna use my short shader for that. So I'm just gonna get a little bit on there, and I sometimes like will tap my brush just to like get any excess off, but then I'm just gonna apply to the outside of this lid here. And this is actually kind of like doesn't have a whole lot of pigment on the brush with this one. But it's a cool color. It's super sparkly, which we all know I love my sparkles. I'm gonna do it on both sides, but as you can see, it's like really easy to do, like be really precise with this one and shade like kind of not all over the place, like kind of be more coherent and not crazy, not all over the place, which is basically how the rest of my life is. So I don't know about you, but yeah, it's been fun, so much fun, super enjoying myself. All right, and then so I have this blender here. I just kind of have like, it's kind of like crazy, so this I'm just gonna use to soften up the edges, which you can kind of see that it's doing that really well. I love a blender, use it for everything. Yeah, got a little bit of pink going on there. I'm gonna use this pink here. Actually, this was one of those, like I was at the register and they have like all the little samples next to the register where you're like standing in line and you're like, oh, I need that. No, you don't. But I got it anyway. It's an illusion palette. It's really cute. But anyways, so I'm gonna go with my short shader again, clean it off a little bit, and I'm gonna use this pink right here just because it's kind of like what I'm going for. And I'm gonna kind of like blend it in with this pink I've already got down. But it's like a really good blender too. If you can, sorry, like I'm the worst at like blocking my face, which totally defeats the purpose of like doing a tutorial for you. And then I'm gonna blend the two together. Yay. All right. There's like this like crazy pink in here too. But I'm gonna do something crazy. And I totally forgot my primer. Don't do that. But I'm gonna put my primer in here. In the inner corner, because I'm gonna do something crazy. So yeah. And I'm gonna go a little bit cut crease right now, to be honest with you. So bear with me here. When you do a cut crease, you're gonna use concealer. I have my Morphe concealer right here. So I'm gonna get a little on this brush. And I'm going to draw a firm line here. And just kind of go with it. It looks crazy right now, but it's gonna be a work of art. Making a damn mess. My favorite. So I'm gonna use my finger to blend. I've said this before, but like sometimes your finger's the best brush. Just because it does a pretty good job of blending. Sometimes a Q-tip's a good choice too. I'm just gonna take my blender because it's already got some pink on it. And I'm just gonna kind of like soften the edges there. Just so it doesn't look like too like rigid. But we want the cut crease to be, you know, cut. It's the whole purpose of it, right? All right, so I have my concealer on, I have my primer on, and now I can share these with you. I love sparkles. So this is Jolie Beauty from the UK Bomb.com palette. Shield your freaking eyes because holy shit, these are amazing. And then I have this You're on Fleek palette. Love the name, same company. Shield your freaking eyes. Like, can we just talk about this for 1 second? Like, I don't think I've seen anything. Like, I could stare at this all fucking day. So beautiful. And blinding. And I don't know, there's a lot of pinks, but I think I'm gonna go with like, there's like this cute little purpley pink right here. But then there's like this like hot pink right here. I think I'm gonna start out with this one. We'll see. We're gonna create something crazy right now. But one brush that I haven't really shared with you is the one that I just used to put my concealer on my lid, and it's like super flat. So it's really good for like applying glitters or applying for a cut crease. That's my son, ignore him. So I'm gonna use this cranberry is what it's called right here. And I'm gonna get a bunch of it on this. Glitter's really weird to work with, like pressed glitters like this. Like they're kind of, ugh. But it's gonna be okay. So I'm gonna apply it like this. And you just kind of like get it to stick on there real good. So sometimes using, like I said, using your finger is sometimes better. So that's what I'm gonna do. Oh my gosh, so sparkly. I'm gonna do it on both sides. There you go again, telling you the obvious. I should be in those Captain Obvious commercials, honestly. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to put like a heavy amount on there. Looks pretty neato. And then I'm gonna use like a lighter pink on the inner corner. I'm gonna use the one right next to it called Rose. And I'm gonna use my finger again because it's working out real well. And I'm gonna kind of like blend the two together, almost like an ombre. And just kind of get like this cool like gradient of pink going on. I love how I said this video is about brushes and I'm literally using my finger. But don't be afraid to use your finger because honestly, sometimes it is truly the best brush that you can use. So there you go, you got some sparkle. Kind of got a little bit underneath my eye. Don't get it in your eye. That's the #1 tip of the day. But so I'm gonna get this guy here that I talked about earlier, a little shader. It's good for under the eye. That's exactly what I'm gonna use it for right now. But I'm just gonna kind of blend everything together here. And it looks real crazy because we're doing pink, and pink is totally out of my comfort zone, but it looks kind of cool, so whatever. Yeah. There we go there. I got a little bit underneath, but that's totally okay. And so sometimes I use my fingers to soften the edges. Yeah. Voila. All right, well, this is the final look. I hope you like it. I have some fake lashes on. They look super good. I used the Betty Boop liner and I love it. Seriously, this tip is amazing. That's what she said. But anyways, it's amazing. Highly recommend. Hope you like this video. I hope you like this look. I hope my brush tutorial helped you figure these out because there's so freaking many of them. Hit like, hit subscribe. I love you. Check your boobs. Breast cancer awareness, okay? You only got 2 of them. Make sure they're both good.